Want to bring in Marc Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal Savings and Loan. Good to see you, Marc. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, my pleasure.
How would you characterize the broad economy right now?
Well, it's not really that good, and it hasn't been for a long time. We're seeing spikes throughout the year of positive signs, but even the Fed will agree that it's not enough to move interest rates or to see that the economy's fully recovered.
What do you think's behind that? We're what, almost 10 years away from now the biggest a recession in a generation. We still haven't been able to recover strongly.
It centers around consumer confidence.
Why?
The confidence just isn't there.
Why?
Well, a lot of people got burned with their 401ks, especially the baby boomers, and that's been the driving part of the world economy for the last umpteen years. And so the confidence just really hasn't come back, and neither have the 401ks.
A lot of people would say it's regulation, Dagan, because small business is not hiring.
Not hiring. Again, you had a health care law that essentially encouraged people to take on, become 49ers or have 49 employees or less. But I'll point out, and this goes to maybe a rate hike later in the year, retail sales are still pretty doggone strong, up 0.5% last month, on top of the 1.3% gain overall in the month of April, and online sales going great guns, up 1.3% last month. That's a reason after you get past this British vote, whether to leave the EU, maybe you, assuming the job market doesn't fall off a cliff, maybe you get a rate hike later in the year.
Yeah, and a rate hike wouldn't be the worst thing that happened either. I think a lot of banks were anticipating that because that helps the spreads. However, the Fed has been very, very careful and cautious.
So what do you will the Fed raise this year then? Do you think Dagan's right? Or they still can't raise?
You know what? I think whatever raise does occur, if one does occur, I don't think it'll be substantive enough to move the needle.
I see.
To change things dramatically.
But Marc, you mentioned consumer confidence being one of the biggest problems with the economy.
Yes.
What do business people like you need to hear from Trump and from Clinton in order to get the confidence back in the economy?
Well, regulation's a big deal, and that's choking, especially the banking industry. If you want to get a home loan today, it's much, much harder. There's more paperwork.
So you want Dodd-Frank reform? Well,
that would be a good start, yes. Yeah.
What happens if the British do leave? I mean, how does that, obviously the euro is going to affect the euro. Does that affect our economy? Does that lead to questions about whether there's a rate hike at the end of the year? Well,
fortunately or unfortunately, we are a world economy now. So everything that happens anywhere in the world can affect what's going on here in the U.S. And so that's a new normal.
So is that a concern for the banking sector, for you and others in the banking sector?
Well, not so much for us, because we're very much local. Mm-hmm. We don't have any international businesses that we deal with. And our business is very simple. It's lending money to people that want to buy a home. Single family, owner occupied is our primary source of. And
how's their credit? They're paying it back?
Oh, yes. Yeah, the credit is pristine now. It's better than it's ever been. And there's parts of the country that are doing very, very well. And North Carolina is booming. New Jersey is one of our stronger markets. California, of course. Florida is coming back, but it's still a little slow. And we're seeing a lot of people paying cash. A lot of investors are coming in, and people from Latin America and Europe, too.
A lot of cash on the sidelines. That's certainly one positive in all of this.
Sure.
Marc, good to see you.
It's nice to see you.
Thanks so much for joining us. Marc Stefanski is Chairman and CEO of Third Federal Savings and Loan.